For decades, the humble egg yolk has carried a bad reputation. That small, golden center, rich, creamy, and loaded with nutrients, has often been cast as the villain in our breakfast plates. It's full of cholesterol, they said. Avoid too many eggs or your arteries will clog. The message was simple. If you wanted a healthy heart, you'd better skip the yolks. But science has a funny way of rewriting its own stories. Today, researchers are starting to question whether the egg yolk really deserves its long-standing blame or whether it's been misunderstood all along. Let's start with the basics. Yes, egg yolks contain cholesterol, around 185 milligrams per yolk on average. And cholesterol, as we know, has long been linked to heart disease. But here's the twist. Not all cholesterol in your blood comes from the cholesterol you eat. Our bodies are much more complex than a simple input equals output equation. The liver, in particular, is like a biochemical factory. It produces most of the cholesterol in your bloodstream, about 75% or more, regardless of how much you get from food. That means even if you avoid eggs completely, your body will still make cholesterol on its own. So, does eating cholesterol automatically raise your blood cholesterol? The answer, surprisingly, is not so straightforward. Studies have shown that for most people, dietary cholesterol from foods like eggs has only a modest effect on blood cholesterol levels. The reason is that your body adjusts its own production. When you eat more cholesterol, your liver makes less. When you eat less, your liver makes more. It's a balancing act, one that nature designed long before nutrition labels existed. Of course, not everyone responds the same way. There are what scientists call hyper-responders, people whose blood cholesterol does rise more noticeably when they consume dietary cholesterol. But they represent a smaller portion of the population. For the majority, the effect is minimal. Now, let's talk about what egg yolks actually bring to the table. And it's more than just cholesterol. That golden orb is packed with essential nutrients: vitamin D, B12, choline, lutein, and zeaxanthin. Compounds that support everything from your brain and eyes to your metabolism. Choline, for instance, plays a key role in liver function and memory. Lutein and zeaxanthin act as antioxidants, protecting your eyes from damage caused by blue light. These are not minor details. They're crucial building blocks for good health. When you look at the egg as a whole, it's one of the most nutritionally complete foods on the planet. One egg provides about 6 grams of high-quality protein, all 9 essential amino acids, and a balance of fats that your body actually needs. Calling it unhealthy just because of cholesterol might be like blaming the ocean for being salty. Technically true, but missing the bigger picture. The real issue lies in context, not in the egg itself, but in what comes with it. An egg fried in butter and served with bacon and white toast is a very different story than a boiled egg in a balanced breakfast with vegetables and whole grains. It's not just what you eat, but how you eat it, and what else tags along on your plate. Recent research backs this up. In 2020, a large review published in the British Medical Journal analyzed data from over 1 million people worldwide. The result? No significant link between moderate egg consumption, about 1 egg per day, and increased risk of heart disease or stroke. Some studies even found that people who ate eggs regularly had slightly lower risk, possibly due to improved nutrition balance and satiety. So, if eggs aren't the enemy, where could the fear come from? It all began in the 1960s when heart disease was skyrocketing in the United States. Researchers were desperately searching for a culprit. Since cholesterol was found in clogged arteries, the logic was simple. Eating cholesterol must raise cholesterol in the blood. The egg yolk, naturally high in cholesterol, became an easy target. The low cholesterol movement was born, and eggs became one of its first victims. But correlation isn't causation. Just because cholesterol was present in artery plaques didn't mean dietary cholesterol caused them. Later studies began to reveal that the real danger came from other factors, particularly saturated fats and trans fats, which influence how the liver processes cholesterol in lipids.
In other words, it wasn't the cholesterol in the egg that was the problem, it was the butter, cheese, and fried oil surrounding it. Here's another interesting twist. Eggs actually raise both types of cholesterol, LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, and HDL, the good one. But HDL plays a protective role, helping to remove excess cholesterol from the bloodstream. For most people, eating eggs increases HDL enough to keep the overall ratio healthy. So even when LDL goes up slightly, the balance often stays in a safe zone. In 2015, the US dietary guidelines officially removed cholesterol limits from their recommendations. After years of research, the experts concluded that there was no substantial evidence that dietary cholesterol from eggs or other foods significantly increased the risk of heart disease in healthy individuals. In short, the egg yolk was quietly declared innocent, though the stigma has been harder to erase. Still, moderation matters. If you eat a dozen eggs a day, your body may struggle to keep balance. But for most people, 1 to 2 eggs daily, especially as a part of a diet rich in vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, poses no harm. In fact, it may even offer benefits like improved muscle maintenance and better eye health. The story of the egg yolk teaches us an important lesson about nutrition, that science evolves, and so should our understanding. What was once considered dangerous can turn out to be beneficial, depending on how we look at it. Food isn't simply good or bad. It's context, balance, and frequency that shape its impact. Imagine blaming a single drop of rain for a flood. It sounds absurd, doesn't it? Yet that's how we've treated the yolk for decades, isolating one small part of the whole picture and calling it guilty. But nutrition, like nature, thrives on complexity. So next time you sit down for breakfast and see that golden center staring back at you, don't fear it, respect it. It's a symbol of how easily we can misunderstand what's good for us and how science can help us see it differently. Because in the end, balance has always been the heart of good health. If you want to understand how small habits can create big changes, make sure to watch more videos like this. And subscribe to WiseUse for more science you can actually use.